Wow, hi YouTube. Just wanted to say happy Easter to everybody really. Hope you had a great day with the family, which is kind of what it's all about. I went to church this morning and about 100 people at the service, which was brilliant. A couple of young kids got baptised and it was a great day. The kind of funniest thing was we came in early this morning to turn the central heating on, ready for the service, and forgot to turn it off. So with 100 people in the church, it was roasting. But it all happened, it all went off really well, and we had a kind of Easter egg hunt for the kids afterwards, and it was great. What I really wanted to talk to you about was not having to keep all of your preps in the house. I think being a prepper's quite a lot about keeping your eyes open, and knowing where to find stuff when you need it. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Okay, this isn't a million miles away from my house, but you see the kind of wood pile in the background there. That is something that I've just set aside really, as I kind of prune the trees back and all the rest of it. Any really kind of big cuttings or branches I just put there, but that's my fuel pile for my wood burning stove if it all comes on top. Okay, so this little gap I can get the Land Rover through, no problems at all. This is a bit of waste ground, not a million miles from my house, and it's a good place to come and hunt. These birds are quite young birds, but they're always about. There's actually muntjac deer living in my back garden. If you look at my urban survival at its best video, you'll see the deer sitting there. So this is a place to come, to acquire game and protein if it all comes on top. But if it doesn't, of course, I rub along and live very happily with all of these animals and creatures. Okay, so this tree is a dead tree. It's been standing here for 12 months at least, and it's dead as a dodo. So rather than kind of chop that tree down and process it and all the rest of it, I'm more than happy to just leave it where it is, because again, if it comes on top, like I say, I bring the Land Rover through that gap, I chop that tree down, and I'll literally just drag it off to a fence, a kind of false fence panel in my garden, and I'll literally drag it straight into the garden, put the fence panel back, and that's where I'll process it. It's got to be 2 or 3 months firewood there for my wood burning stove. I think prepping's more about keeping your eyes open and maybe your mind open as to where you can acquire things, and just have your wits about you. So what I'm going to do is harvest this, before anyone else does. I suppose that's the game. I think the other thing about being a prepper, if you're fortunate enough to take your family along with you on this, then then good for you. I haven't really, I don't involve my wife and my kids in it too much. It is just my kind of hobby. My cover story is just that I like adventure camping. I like to kind of get away on my own, and like a bit of bushcraft, and that's all I really say to people about it. I think that there comes a point when, if you're starting to kind of hoard food, kit and equipment, fuel, you've got a garage full of stuff, perhaps like I have, although I try and keep it fairly discreet and disguise it as a hobby. So, like I say, the fallback position for me is that the most important thing to me is my relationship and my marriage and my kids, And what you don't want to do is kind of get to a point where you're so engrossed or fanatical about preparing for, the unknown, and that's all prepping is. Like I said the other day, it's just preparing for bad weather. But I think you have to take your foot off the gas from time to time, and you you have to be acceptant of your kind of preparedness position. I'm pretty confident that my position's at kind of 12 months, and that's great, you know. So what I need to do is really reassure and reinvest in the family, you know, and take it off the front burner, you know, and let it just kind of tick along, you know, to scare the people that love and admire us. If we get or appear to be a little bit too engrossed, that prepping becomes a sort of an unhealthy pastime, and it takes you away from the very people that you're trying to do it for, you know. So just something I wanted to put on the table, really, you know. In the UK, the threat is, you know, the economic position, and we're not going to have, you know, hurricanes and storms and floods. It's temperate climate, one of the safest places to live in the world. That doesn't mean to say that there aren't, you know, highly educated people standing in food queues. Of course there are. You know, if you contact the Salvation Army, you know, they'll tell you that they're feeding tens of thousands of people in the UK, you know, and unemployment's on the up, you know. Yada yada yada, you know, it's the same old. I don't want to kind of go over all that again, but everybody knows what the threats are, and what the sensible thing to do about it is, which is, you know, keep your eye on it and do what you can. I just wanted to say that, you know, the families and the kids and the wives and the girlfriends and the relationships are the reason that you're prepping. When I make my videos, people see this these buildings in the background, and they feel for me, you know. They think, oh God, you know, it must be a terrible place where Roach lives, and the answer to that is it probably couldn't be further from the truth, you know. Yeah, so this is just phase one of a massive redevelopment. You know, we've just received £500 million from the EU to redevelop the whole site, really. There are two buildings that are going to be left standing. One is the house that I live in, and the other one is the church. Everything else is going to go. On the other side of the road, in the far distance there, you can just about see an orange building, which is a brand new purpose-built sports and community centre. There's a roundabout just up the road, and on the other side of that there's a brand new school and library and sports complex. So it's far from what it appears, you know. I am in fact not living in a war zone. It's just a massive redevelopment that's that the blue hoardings, or these buildings behind me, are phase one, and they're going to be knocked down to develop it. It's also going to have community gardens and allotments, and if it's anything like the drawings at the town hall, it'll be amazing when it's finished. But we've just got to endure the next probably five to 8 years probably before it's actually completely finished. So I'm going to be living on a building site for a while if I don't relocate myself. Like I say, this little video was really just about trying to turn around to people and say, look, you know, don't lose focus on the reason that we are preppers. The reason we're preppers is to support and care for the ones that we love. And the one thing that I want to come through it with is my wife and my family. I don't want to put my relationship under so much pressure that I end up, you know, with preps that'll keep me going forever, but I've got no one to share it with, you know. So I think that's a potential. If money's tight and you're spending money on preps, perhaps your partner won't agree that that's the best possible use of the money that you have, and so it can create unease in your relationship and all the rest of it. This is all commonplace. Anyone that's a prepper and in a relationship would have come across this. But as always, YouTube, any comments, love to hear them. Back soon.